Alrighty, so now we are going to speak with Miss Lynette Eddy from the Eddy's House. It's an initiative to help combat youth homelessness. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Lynette. We appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Thank you.
So, can you tell us a little bit about kind of Eddy's House? I know you guys aren't based in Louisiana, but you all have a unique perspective on youth homelessness.
Right. We are the central intake and assessment for homeless and at-risk youth in Northern Nevada. And we service youth ages 18 to 24 who are experiencing homelessness or a lot of trauma in their life. And
And
I'm sorry.
And can you tell us a little bit about how the commonalities of homelessness in youth? I feel like oftentimes people don't realize how common it is even in their own cities.
Oh, well, I don't know how it is in Louisiana, but it's a crisis in the West Coast. Also, states like New York, I know, but it's an issue all over the country. And there's different reasons for, different areas. Could be lack of affordable housing, which we're experiencing on the West Coast. It's I don't know how Louisiana is, but that's a huge problem. I work in the homeless encampments, and there are people actually working there, but they just can't afford rent. The rents are ridiculous. And a lot of people even on Social Security that can't afford their rent. But another huge part of homelessness is mental illness, and I think that's universal. And addiction, which are pretty much paired. You can have mental illness and then get into the addiction issue because you're trying to numb the mental suffering you're experiencing. But it's a huge problem, that lack of services for mental illness around the country. Yeah, and trauma. A lot of people, PSTD, with our youth, they've all been traumatized, and that's huge. So that plays into the mental illness aspect. Yeah. So, the youth are homeless for different reasons, unique reasons. We have a lot of youth that actually, came out as gay and their parents kicked them out of the house immediately on the streets, or, their caregivers had addiction problems or whatever. And, a lot of our kids, have been beaten and, lived on the streets with their parent or caregiver from a young age. There's some tragic stories, but I think that's probably universal as well.
Absolutely. And according to America's Health Rankings, there's a website, and it talks about the 2.2 is about the average for the state of Louisiana specifically. In Oklahoma, it's a little bit higher. Arkansas, it's a little bit higher. We kind of cover all those spaces. But tell me a little bit about kind of providing resources for those students, those children, those minors who are affected by homelessness. Because homelessness doesn't have one version, there's different levels of homelessness, right?
Right, right. But, for specifically for the youth, they all need, counseling, therapy. Well, first what we do is take care of their basic needs. They come into our Eddy House, and, we make sure that they have, food, obviously, they can place where they can take a shower. And, we have a clothing closet, just basic needs. And then we have case managers that work with them on, getting an ID if they don't have an ID, getting their transcripts figured out so they can work on getting their GED, or, some kind of employment training to help them get a job. And You know, like I say, we have a shelter, overnight shelter, and that's, you know, pretty much for the emergency cases. But then we also have a live-in part of Eddy House where we, you know, the kids are constantly, you know, taken care of as far as, you know, getting them to their job, or we, you know, have all the computers and everything available for getting their GEDs or helping them get into college if they progress that far, you know, anything they need. But the secret is having all the services on site. You know, we have everything from, you know, mindfulness training, we have group therapies, we have, you know, dental health, we have medical health, we have the computers, we have everything you can imagine. And that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Now, Miss Lynette, is this initiative, this foundation, something you plan to take nationally potentially?
Oh, right. Yeah. So we've developed our program where we collect data and we, you know, test the efficacy of our programming, and it's proven to be evidence-based practice. It's very successful. And we've had, you know, people from Washington come out from Housing and Urban Development and proclaim it as a national model because of our success. Every community would benefit that's, you know, dealing with this issue.
Absolutely. So for, you know, those who want to support youth who may be experiencing homelessness, what would you recommend?
Reach out, you know, get, if you don't have facilities in your community, you've got to, you know, pull it together, you know, as a community effort. You know, when I first realized the how we needed something like this, it was when I was working with the adult homeless in the adult shelter and seeing that these kids were mixed in with the older homeless, and I could see these kids were getting preyed on, they were getting robbed. It was just not good. So there needs to be a separation. And this age group, 18 to 24, it's a vulnerable age, and that's the key. If you can, I don't say fix them, but if you can turn them around at that age, they most likely be productive citizens in the future. Otherwise, most likely and statistically proven, they'll be homeless for the rest of their life. So there definitely needs to be specific services for that age group.
Absolutely. Well, Lynette, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and your time. Have a great day. You can always watch more of News 12 Now on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Just click the link. We've got extended interviews just for you. Thanks for watching.